What's up, everybody? Okay, I can breathe a sigh of relief today, at least partially, with Ray here. All right. I was going to drop a video comparing Ray to Ray, apples to bloody fucking oranges, right? And I wanted to get a little more time with him before I did that, and it's a good thing I did. So I will say this. I have been able to remedy some of the problems that I've had with Ray. And that big problem being, like, if you guys watch my other video of Ray fresh out of the box when I was running him around, he was just getting interrupted all over the place. There was really, like, no flinch resistance. And specifically, he would flinch through spells. Spells would interrupt him all the time. The level with the birds, there's constantly spells getting thrown up. They're interrupting you. And obviously, in the White Lab, there were mages. And just the little battle with the mages that I had was ridiculous because it was clear as day. No matter what I did, as soon as the spell popped up, boom, he's done. And his animations do take a little bit longer. So the thing is, I have managed to remedy that, and pretty much you're going to want some kind of status on him, or ailment, sorry. You're going to want poison on Ray, something like that. That is going to give him, like, flinch resistance to magic. So I have tested this. If we go to Heart of the Temple here, first of all, I'll tell you guys what else I did to Ray, just kind of to increase his damage, to increase just his effectiveness. What we're doing is we're starting the fight out with things that give us a debuff. Because the more debuffs that are on Ray, right, the more damage cap he gets, the more of a bonus he gets to his thunder damage, and the more Ray gets the crap beat out of him. So his damage cap is going to go up from him taking 5% increments of his max health, and they stack. They don't go away. So the boss could be on wave 3. You can spend wave 1 and wave 2 just running around letting Ray get the shit beat out of him, and he will take his damage cap, because it says it doesn't reset between waves, unless that was a mistake. I just kind of thought that was interesting, right? They are kind of giving us a way to pump him up. And they kind of have to, because at the end of the day, when you compare Ray to Ray, man, looking at their stats, it is a monstrous difference. We'll do that and everything. But at least for now, I wanted to put this out there, because if you really think about it, if Ray could just find a way to not stutter through every single time he's throwing one of his abilities because of a spell, right? With physical attacks, you're still going to have to finesse the plug a little bit, but I feel like against physical attacks, you can do that. Ray has a good kit where he can attack people diagonally. He doesn't have to be on the same plane as you on the screen. The S1 is like now a snipe move. Very awesome. S2 and S3 are just kind of like AoEs. Well, the S2 is an AoE around him. So when there's an enemy in front of you that does physical damage, if you just run up and diagonal from him, you can start dropping your AoE. It's going to hit them, right? And same thing with the S3. You can run away, you can run up, you can run down, and then you can tap that S3 and he'll lunge forward, knock you up in the air. So all in all, you know, that's not too bad. It's when you start taking spells. It's when you start taking spells to the face, right? They're going to interrupt the shit out of you unless you have poison on you or some sort of thing like that. That's what I've been noticing. So towards the end of this fight, these birds will hopefully poison us, and then you'll be able to see Ray actually using his abilities through miasma and through the magic and through some of the spells that they cast. And that makes a huge difference, because then you can get your abilities to go off and Ray can actually be dangerous instead of just wasting your kit. And yeah, so another thing we've done here to kind of help Ray out is we've given him alcohol. The alcohol is going to give him drain, right? Grand, brave, and vitality, but also drain. And I have a skill in here that's also starting him off with 2 debuffs, right? So if he gets those 2 debuffs and drain, obviously he's going to get a damage boost and a % damage boost to lightning damage. And as soon as they put that poison on him, or any status, I believe it's even, they have a status they put down where you get slowed. I believe it does the same thing. You will have a chance to flinch proof through magic. So that works very well. I'll let you guys just kind of look at what I got here. He's only 70 SC, very simple. But I've just started switching things over to actually give him debuffs. And to, you know, I still have to look through my equipment. I could have sworn I have some kind of gear that will just start him off with poison or with something like that. Really don't want to look for it right this second. So we'll just let one of them status us, right? But the important thing here to remember is when we're fighting nasty bosses and shit, they're doing this automatically for us. Like, they're going to be throwing status at you. You're going to be poisoned, and you're probably going to be blind, right? So that's going to be cool because specifically for this Rei, that just means, cool, now magic can't flinch me, and now I can actually get these abilities off, right? And he has a little bit more damage cap than Rei, and I can tell you that right now. And that's okay, but really, I think where he shines through is he breaks a lot more than Rei. He also has a niche place in this game to bridge the gap for parties that are lightning and dark element. Right? I mean, you can't really knock his ability to give everybody -20 to light and -20 to dark resistance. You can stack that up with weakened. You can stack that up with what? Not Puck's Blessing or Contract with Puck. Oh, it's the other one. Gaze of the End. Gaze of the End is another 10% to everything. So effectively, between Weaken and Gaze of the End, you would have -40% resistance to lightning, and you'd have, what, -30 or 40% to dark, right? And that is without Light Circle and what the electric or fire circle, whichever circle actually cuts lightning resistance and does the opposite effect or the opposite element of damage to them. But the point is, you can effectively get a very, very, very nice break on dark now and on lightning. So he's going to just be improving the shit out of that. And obviously he's going to do more damage to things that are weak, and he can actually make these things weak, right? Even if you have a pretty decent elemental resistance, he's going to chip away at that. And of course, he has Diablos. So I like Diablos. It's cutting some elemental resistance and doing damage, and I see it proc on him all the time. I believe in both forms. So really though, Breaker. You're going to notice he's going to break the shit out of things, and he has a lot of nice break boosts already built in. And of course, his paid weapon has that 50% more to break tacked on at the very end. So here we go. Hopefully, we can give it a good run here. Now that I've explained what I've done to curb some of his shortcomings that I've seen right out of the box, right? But we're still going to do the same thing. The Divine Beast, right? I'm also not running his arc on him because I feel like he does want to just really charge his kit. So I do want to let them kind of beat the shit out of me a little bit, right? Because remember, when I'm taking 5% damage at a time, my damage cap is going up. So I'll let them drain my health a little bit. Why not? Looks like I've already taken some damage right there. I'm down to half health. There's a few 5%. But we have cut strength, cut intelligence, cut defense. So all three of those are plus 2 damage cap and plus 2 lightning damage for every single one of those. So he is debuffed, but all in all, this is actually pretty good for him. We still do not have a ailment. We don't have poison on us or anything like that. So we will still be getting interrupted with magic. But I think if we can cut through this ogre, right, we might just be able to do something about that. Oh, our S2 actually went off, and our S3, and this is when things go good for REI, an instant break. We have the ogre right here. He's broken. S1, S2, he about to die. He's dying much quicker too. I'm noticing he is dying much quicker, so I know I'm doing more damage and more damage cap. And big surprise, he's dying much quicker when I have all these status downs on me. Now, if we can kill the ogre, the two birds that are remaining will start actually statusing us. Look at that. Yeah, we're running through miasma. We are running through miasma. I don't see a status yet. Hold on. See, it looks like we aren't flinching. I'm just waiting for one of them to actually... I know they poison, and they also... See, that's flinching me, for sure. Do I see some poison? Alright, there's our poison. I knew if we got to this point, they would poison us. But just keep in mind, many bosses are going to poison the shit out of you anyway, or some other status, right? Also important to note, the battles went on long enough to where my status downs have worn off. So I don't have all the damage cap. But he is running around with 56, 76 base strength. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, even though my damage reduction and my plus % to damage has technically gone down. We are poisonous now, so we're going to go try to stand in some spells, and we're going to try to use our ability kit. See if we can get any of our stuff to go through it. Come on, cast on me. Let's go. There we go. See, we're attacking through miasma. See, we are not getting flinched there. Same thing with black hole. Same thing with all magic. So that, if you can actually take advantage of that, that's fucking bad. It is. That is. Because it's not just one element. It's magic. That's pretty fucking huge. Magic gets used to pin down your whole fucking party. Like some boss at the end will just have some crazy fucking blizzard going. And at that point, you can't really use too many abilities through that. You're trying to get any one of your heroes to even get half an ability off to do any damage at all before, they get interrupted. Or hopefully you brought a character that has a chance to not flinch from that element. Well, REI, as long as he's poisoned or something stupid, which you can control somewhat, he's not going to flinch. And I've tested this now with dark, with fire, the miasma, the lightning. In fact, lightning is going to give him 2,000 more to damage cap and a little bit more damage and stuff like that. So now that kind of makes things interesting, right? Because between the break is good. He is a hell of a breaker, especially if he's not being flinched by magic. You can feasibly get those breaks through. You guys did just see me put in some work on those birds and on the ogre. I just had to let them work REI over for a second, get some of those buffs. So I wasn't playing him like this when I first made my recording, when I just took him out of the box and ran him in here. So it is a world of a difference. He does become much easier to use. I can see how effective being able to not flinch through any kind of magic is. So I got to give him credit there. There are obviously requirements that need to be fulfilled to get him to run like this. But that cuts out a lot of the shortcomings that I was picking up on. Just getting interrupted with spells like that. Just being able to get around that's a big deal. That is a big deal. All he has to do is run around, taking some poison damage. That's not even that bad. It's not even that much, right? We give characters and heroes berserk all the time. It's doing damage over time to you. But hey, as long as you can heal it up with Proud Force and shit like that, you're all good, right? So I have no problem with Rey running around being poisoned. He might as well have berserk on him, right? And it's going to let him not flinch through magic, period. Yo, that's pretty cool, you know? So effectively, Rey could break down a boss very effectively. And at that boss's threshold, when there's a bunch of status ailments and there's a ton of magic going up and your whole party is like pinned and they can't do shit, Rey might actually be able to finish the boss off for you because he's not being flinched by all that magic. So that is cool, right? That's where I'm giving him credit. Just IMO here. Now, what does that cost? What does that cost Rey to be able to do that from his other form? Let's have a look. Okay. Here's Rey, Evil Rey. If we actually look at his stats, and remember, it's everything that I just talked about, plus a very powerful elemental resistance break. That's not only lightning, but also dark, and he's going to bridge that gap between lightning and dark parties, right? But so what is all this costing him? So this Rey has 8,500 hit points, 204 MP, strength 3412, defense, intelligence, and mind. Man, look at that. There are, I mean, really the defense and the mind, 730 and 833. 700, 800. That's where we're at. 730 and 830 for defense and mind. I can tell you right now, Divine Beast Rey, I haven't looked at his stats in a while. I can tell you right now that there's no way he's down in the 700 defense and mind. Let's have a look. Oh, look, he's at 1,200 defense, 1,134 mind. So that's substantial, right? Strength 3414 to 3412. They're actually pretty close, right? Hit points, though, Divine Rey is at 14,411. Beast Rey, 8,500. 8.5. Yeah. So, that's substantially less health, yo. That is substantially less health. So Rey here is not as tanky, right? And he does want to take some damage, 5% of his hit points at a time, in order to really pump himself up, right? And just be the gnarliest breaker that he can be, right? And we want some kind of ailment on him. We don't want silence. I don't think silence. Yeah, silence doesn't let you use your ability kit. Poison. We want Rey to be poisoned. I do. I want my Rey to run around poisoned the whole time. Yeah, I'm gonna look through my items and see. I could have sworn there was something that just gives you poison all the time. I definitely want to try that out just for like the flinch proof thing. So this is kind of where I see Rey and, you know, the other Rey. But stats wise, they're pretty different. They are pretty different, right? We have stun nil. We have curse resist for godly Rey. And we have blind weakness, right? So, the evil Rey, he just has some, pretty much has the same elemental resistance except ailment resistance, except he also has nil to headaches, right? Yes. So that's kind of where they're at. So which one would you choose to run? Well, I mean, Divine Beast Rey also has some support. He's not going to be breaking any elemental damage. His damage cap also isn't as high, but I don't know. I kind of feel personally like they could have given Evil Rey here a little bit more damage cap. That's just how I feel. He's doing what, 30, maybe 40,000, probably 30,000 damage. It's not that much. I'm not seeing that much higher of a damage cap over Divine Beast Ray. Like, I'm seeing like 30,000. Maybe I still need to mess around with him and stack up some debuffs and stuff like that. But also, I'm solo running him, and I'm actually spending SC to put these breaks on Ray. You know, if I was actually running some nasty boss, I wouldn't have to probably spend SC to do that. The boss would do that for me for free. The boss is going to be throwing statuses out. Hopefully, Ray can be poisoned. In fact, there's lots of bosses that passively throw poison, right? And stat breaks too. There's going to be bosses that do that for me for free, so I'm going to be able to save SC, spend it on something else, right? But I've actually just been testing this, so that's why I'm paying to actually throw these breaks on Ray, and it's made a difference. I can tell you right now, just having these, what am I running in there with? 3 breaks, 4 breaks on him. It is making a pretty big difference in how quickly I'm clearing that and how he's clearing that. And obviously, when he actually gets an ailment break on him, he plays completely different because, well, then magic doesn't flinch him. So I got to give credit where it's due. That's about all the credit I can give him. So it's still, to me, it's still a pretty close call. Evil Ray and Divine Beast Ray, you know, they're man, it's hard to choose. It's hard to choose between them, right? And it's not like they're even similar, close at all. They're doing completely different things. I actually like some of the healing that Divine Beast Ray does. There's been plenty of content that I've cleared where I didn't need to be healer heavy. And if you actually learn how to use his, what are they called? They're not Wings of Redemption. His spell, it's an AoE heal. I think it's called Godwing. It's an AoE heal, but it also gives everybody minus, 50% damage reduction for an X amount of time. Like, that can be so useful. Sometimes I use it to heal everybody, but sometimes I also use it just to turn on that damage reduction for everybody. Right before an enemy is going to drop a threshold, you can see them coming because you're like, oh, okay, when the enemy's at half health, he's going to drop that shit. And, oh, big surprise, he's almost down to half health. Let me just tap on Ray. He does this AoE heal thing. Everyone has damage reduction up. Okay, here comes the boss's big, whatever. And it's worked fairly well for me. I've got to run a bunch of content without actually running a healer. I just run Ray instead. Matter of fact, if I need lightning damage, you guys know I'm probably going to have Ray in that party. So this is why I was excited for this hero. So yeah, maybe for like a dark damage party, Ray could just be there to break. He could just break the shit out of whatever you're fighting, and then your dark damage characters can take over and do the actual damage. Because the Imperil is still pretty fucking crazy, right? I mean, he's Imperiling for himself, but really he's Imperiling for dark units as well. It also gives your dark party a little bit of variation. You're not stuck to everybody doing dark. You have Ray there to break for dark, but then, if the game throws a wrench at you, and on the second wave, there's a bunch of stuff that's actually really strong against dark, well, then you can switch over to Ray and be like, well, I'll take this all out with my lightning damage, and I'll look cool doing it, right? So, there's different things you can do. I don't think he is an actual game breaker like a lot of people were hoping he would be. We are talking about Ray here. And personally, maybe I just haven't seen him stacked all the way the fuck up, and maybe it'll just take me a second. But I honestly think Evil Ray deserves a little bit more damage cap. Just like 10,000 more. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. So, Yeah, that's what I think, but at least I did manage to find some redeeming qualities in him. I do feel better about Evil Ray today than I did yesterday. That's for sure. I'm going to keep grinding away with him. Maybe I can find some more interesting stuff, but I wanted to get something out there today because he definitely has some use, and it all depends on which heroes you have. Me in particular, I do have some dark damage heroes that I actually can't wait to run with him. Where are they at? Where are they at? Where are my little demon girls at? Here we go. Here's one of them. And then what? We can throw Sheeta into the party. That could be a nasty little party doing a bunch of dark damage. Right? So, Sheeta. I could bring V for status. Right? Actually, Joker's doing dark, isn't he? Let's see. Yep, Joker's doing dark, so I could throw Joker in there. I think it would be a pretty cool party. I'll have to see what I can do with that. And obviously, Ray will be there to break the shit out of dark, right? And obviously, if I have a boss that's doing status and things like that, I can take my SC and then maybe bring, not contract, with Gaze of the End. So there's another X amount to every elemental broken, right? On top of weaken, on top of raise 20% to lightning resistance and 20% to dark resistance. So that's what, 40%, something like that already. And like I said, there's other ways too. So, and then Ray would obviously probably be the breaker for that party. And hopefully that would be enough to get it done for you. So I just need a dark damage healer now. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. So anyway, I think that's kind of where Ray is, right? I would expect another collab soon. So keep that in mind before you think about pulling for him. Okay, he's not exactly a game breaker. I'm sure he'll be around later. He's limited, but he's not really limited because he is a Last Claudia character. Pretty much what I'm looking for now are going to be collab characters that actually have quite the power boost in the meta. So, like collab heroes like Nier Automata, heroes that have aged very well, right? Like this girl right here. This girl's still awesome. She's doing great damage. Her kit, she has no problem throwing it, doing those claymore attacks, hitting for great damage cap. And A2's been around for a little while, and I still see her hitting for awesome damage cap. So heroes like this is what I'll be looking out for. So keep an eye out for that, because they're just, I don't know what collabs they're going to be doing next, but they're going to be doing collabs next, right? I think I did see a Buddha video not too long ago where he was pointing out how there's some kind of calendar difference and that they've done this before when, I'm paraphrasing here, but they've done this before when there's been a collab. Apparently, like, some JP players pointed it out, and he did cover something like that. I remember hearing that and being like, yes, I feel a collab coming on too. That makes sense, and it would make sense that they would push Ray out like this. So, I would say hold on to your resources, Ray. If you're questioning it at all, hold on to your resources, because Ray's not really limited. He's not, and we will have some real, actual limited heroes coming up soon. I can feel it. So that's my official advice. Take it or leave it. Do with it what you will. But remember, have an awesome day, and I'll see you out there. I hope you enjoyed. Later, everybody, and thank you for all the support, everybody.